you could be years and years in therapy, or you could do 10 sessions of anger in the really great directed way and kind of have the same results. So I'm just going to put that out there. I want you to do it when you're ready. Just because I spent years and years in therapy. And so there is a purpose for therapy, right? Like there are things that you need to talk through, and the ways that you need to understand your mother and her behavior and your reaction to her and things like that. So I'm not saying that the therapy is part of it is bad, because it's great. But I want you to have the understanding, and I also want you to have the physical transformation as well. So, I had the same issue with my mother, and I did the same thing. I cut her off, and I cut a lot of people out of my life that weren't supportive of me. And I think that was actually the right decision for me at that time. And I can't tell you what to do, but what I find sometimes with these toxic relationships is that you kind of need the space to figure out who you are separate from them, right? Because there's a lot of things that, I'm guessing you're starting to realize, like, hey, it's not okay that you treat me like that. Or you're starting to realize that you're different from her. And, it's a very confusing time if you've been raised with a toxic parent. And so, for me, in my case, I think space was really good. It gave me a perspective, but I was going to therapy every single week. I was working on my issues. And what I can say is, my relationship with my mother didn't shift overnight. It was years and years and years. But let's see, when did I start therapy? I started therapy when I was 15. And probably by the time I was 33, which I know is a really long time, my mother now is a completely different person. She's like the nicest woman that you've ever met. She's so sweet, so loving, so compassionate. She did her work too, though. She went to therapy and she got help, and, and that was her choice. And, what I've seen with people that go through this program, and for people that do work on themselves and with loved ones that they have issues with, is often if you're committed to doing your work with that person, because we're all connected energetically, that other person shifts as well. And I say this all the time, but it still surprises me when, like, somebody calls me and says, "Oh my gosh, Brittany, you'll never believe my dad he's 90 years old and he did something so out of the blue. Like, it can't not be from this work that I've been doing." So I don't want to get your hopes up that it's going to happen overnight, but I feel, for you, I feel like what you're doing is sort of the right thing. And getting the space it's not you shutting off your emotions, it's you getting clarity.